I am joined now by Ofir Akunis, the Consul General of Israel in New York. And of course, the topic of today is what's been going on in the Middle East, the attack on Iran, the decision by the United States and Israel to attack. And the question is this: the bombing has been going on for a week. What's left to bomb, and where do we go from here?
Unfortunately, much more. They build their nuclear sites, and they making their intercontinental missiles for a very long time, Marcia. I want you to know, I know that you already know that, but most of the Americans, according to the numbers that I can see these days, don't know the issue. They don't know about the Iranian threat. What is the Iranian threat? I saw a lot of people who still they're saying it's about Israel.
It's a threat of building a nuclear bomb, all their nuclear reactors, their missile reactors, but you're taking everything out.
So that's the point. That's the point, that the threat of these intercontinental missiles, the nuclear sites,
and
their nuclear weapon, and the drones, the threat is against all of us, my friends, my American friends. It's not only against the state of Israel, because what is the Iranian slogan?
Because they're sponsors of terror around the world.
Exactly. So what is the, when I saw here, and we talked about it during my first interview here, and I quote the protesters here who used to, they're still doing it, by the way, chant, death to America, death to Israel. This is an Iranian slogan.
But see, wait, we have to ask this question. So I've talked to some experts over the past week in Middle East policy.
Yes.
And what they say is that the Israeli view is something that they call mowing the lawn. That you bomb, the bombs come back, just like grass comes back, and you have to bomb them again. And that has been the policy of trying to contain the Iranians over the last several years. Is this different? Are you going to have to come back and mow the lawn in a year, in 5 years, in some point?
I hope that we don't need to do it in 5 years or 6 years or 10 years.
So what's the difference this time?
Because I will tell you, first of all, the combination between the Israeli army and the American army, the fact that we are doing it together. When President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu decided as leaders, and by the way, serious leaders,
but they have
strong leaders,
nuclear
to do
reactors buried deep down. How do you get all of them? How do you get all of the missiles? How do you get all the missile sites? How do you get all of the drones, all of their technology, every last bit?
I will tell you, the president said a few days ago that it can be something like 4 or 5 weeks operation. Maybe we'll need more time. Maybe, I don't know yet. I can see the achievements till this day. There's very good achievements.
So when does it stop? At what point do you say enough?
When I will tell you, right, and clear, when the Ayatollahs will surrender. We can't, the Western world, the Western civilization was under their threat. They don't want us. It's not Israel, it's not Tel Aviv, it's New York, it's London, it's Berlin, it's Rome, it's Athens, it's everything. They don't want the Western civilization. They don't want our democracies.
So you're saying America is in danger as well?
Yes, yes, I'm saying it.
From a nuclear attack or from a cyber attack?
From everything, Marcia. I'm begging from the Americans to understand the threat. This is a serious threat. Maybe their intercontinental missiles, for now, are too short to reach America, but they are not too short to reach Europe. London, by the way, I'm very surprised from the British behavior. The British who led the front against the Germans in 1940, when after the famous Churchill.
But do you think this is a residual reaction to what happened in Gaza after the attack on October 7th?
No, I don't think that. I will tell you. There's no. First of all, the Gazans and the Hamas declared around 1987 that they want to destroy us. The Iranians declared it much, let's say, 10 years before. So it's Iran and their proxies as well. Why we can see now the clashes in Lebanon? I saw a headline, I think, I don't remember where was it, that Israel strikes Lebanon. Wrong. Israel strikes Hezbollah. And who are those monsters? People who wants to destroy, first of all, Israel. Then, by the way, what was the reason that they used the drones to attack the British base? In Cyprus. Next time they will do it in Greece. Next time they will do it in Italy as well.
Aren't they trying to spread the war so to make it more difficult?
I think so. Yes, I think so. They are not using the Houthis yet. You know, their proxies from Yemen, but maybe they will do it next week. I don't know. We need to accept it. But I want to tell you that they are using the Hezbollah, the Houthis, and all their proxies to attack Israel and the Western world.
But here's the really big question. Jew hatred is something that is built into their culture, built into the culture of the Ayatollah.
Unfortunately.
So how many bombs does it take? How many attacks does it take to erase that? There are some that say that you can never erase that hatred.
First of all, you're right, but this hatred is not, unfortunately, it's not new. It was even before, as you said, even before the Ayatollahs. But the Ayatollahs declared right from the beginning that they are not only hate the Jewish people, that they want to destroy the Jewish people and the Western civilization together. You cannot separate their hateness to the Western world and to the Western civilization. Because, by the way, they kidnapped almost 300 Americans a few days after the Islamic Revolution there in Iran. Then they spread their slogan, "Death to America." And I want to be honest with you, really, this Sunday morning, I don't understand Americans, even politicians, I don't know, mayors, others, that they are saying it's not our war. My friends, this is your war. Not because I want it as an Israeli, because your enemy is saying it for the last 47 years.
Mayor Mamdani said it was an unjust war.
Okay, I don't know. He can say whatever he wants. You know, this is a free country. I'm saying to you that this is your war, because people in this city, even in this city, are using the slogan, the Iranian slogan, "Death to America."
But here's the question. So the President of the United States says that he wants to have a say in picking the next leader. There's been talk out of Iran that they wanted to crown, for lack of a better word, the son of the Ayatollah, which the president says is unacceptable. What role should the president or anyone play in the self-determination of Iran, which is its own power?
I'll tell you our thoughts about it. We cannot, Israel or the Americans, decide for them. Okay, they need to build from the beginning Iran, to erase the last 47 years of the Ayatollahs. Yes, I think so. I will tell you why.
But how do you find somebody who's willing to do that when the whole culture has been based on
So I don't think that it's true. I don't think that they're all culture based on, hateness. I don't think so. The Ayatollahs brought it to Iran around the end of the 70s. It wasn't like this before. I don't know if you know, El Al, the Israeli airline, used to fly every day from Tel Aviv to Tehran, every day. So, and with a lot of trade, by the way, between Iran and Israel.
Could there ever be a day when trade can resume?
It's a good question. I hope that it will be, I'm not sure that it will be during the year of 2026. I hope that it will happen during the year of 2027.
I guess the big question to me, and we only have about a minute left in this section, is this: is there a possibility that you can totally wipe out their ability to build a nuclear weapon and that peace can reign in that country?
I think that the main goal of this operation is to achieve peace to the world, to achieve peace to the region. We want peace. We don't want the Ayatollahs to threat us and to say every day that they want to destroy us. I think that if you'll ask the Consul General of the UAE, about his opinion.
What does he say?
He will be, I don't know if he will say it on record, but I suppose, I don't want to say UAE, other various Arab countries around the world, what do they think about this operation? They will say that they cannot live with the Iranian threat anymore. And what the example is that they fired the Emirates, Bahrain, and Saudi Arabia, and Qatar as well.
All right, on that note, we're going to have to leave it right there for now. Up next, one of the many candidates seeking to replace retiring Congressman Jerry Nadler. We are back with Ofir Akunis, the Consul General of Israel in New York. I'd like to talk to you now about the fact that part of the response by Iran to the attack has been to go after countries all around the Middle East.
Exactly.
But what they're doing is something very specific. They're trying to take out the technology that you have to identify missiles that have been fired so that you can shoot them out of the air. That, you know, like Israel has the Iron Dome, they're trying to shoot out that technology that exists in other Mideast countries. Why are they doing that, and why are they aiming that technology specifically? I mean, I think I know the answer, but I'd like to know what you say.
I want to tell you something. We are living in actually in an upside down world. I think that Israel and our neighbors, I'm talking about the Persian Gulf countries as well, and even Saudi Arabia, we are looking for the normalization between Israel and Saudi Arabia. All of us don't want the Iranian threat. Now, the Iranian, when they recognize that someone else is an ally of the United States and Israel, or only the United States or Israel, they don't want them in the region. That's the
so basically what you're saying is that the Abraham Accords that have been worked out by Israel and the United States are upsetting the Iranians, and they want to stop it from spreading?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And they don't want Saudi Arabia to join?
Absolutely. That's the main idea of the Iranians. First of all, to destroy us, but secondly, they don't want the cooperation. They don't want the collaboration between Israel and the Emirates or Bahrain, and even with Morocco. But they don't, they maybe until now, they're focusing the Emirates, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar as well, even though there's no normalization in the next future between Israel and Qatar.
So at the end of the day, in 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 10 weeks, whatever period of time this conflagration takes place, will you be able to say that Iran no longer has the capability to build a nuclear bomb?
The answer is yes.
Yes?
Yes.
100%?
Yeah, 100%. It's only one thing in our life, and it's the end of it's the end of them. But I think that, yes, we are doing it these days with, I have to tell you, a phenomenal cooperation between our armies and our pilots.
But the question that becomes, since all of this visible material exists in underground bunkers, how do you get it all?
We know how to do it.
How do you destroy it all? There's so much of it is buried so deep in the ground.
We have our very, let's say, good weapons as well,
and
both of us. And intelligence, and you saw that we are doing it almost every day from the very first day. But there is one difference.
What's the difference?
The difference is we don't want to hurt civilians. And they are firing towards cities, hospitals,
but about 800 people have already been killed.
It's not something that we did, and we don't want it. We want only the Ayatollahs and the regime, and that's it.
But the Revolutionary Guard is very strong.
Okay, they are strong.
They exist all over
now
the
I want to
country.
tell you something. They are much weaker now. They are much weaker now. Now, this week will be the test of the Iranian people. If they will resume the protest in the streets, they can do it. I don't know if it will be. I don't know if it will be so fast. Maybe it will take time. Maybe it will take time, but it will happen. You know why? Because this is the natural thing. Nobody wants to. This day it's the women, the International Women's Day.
Women's History Month.
That's right. Okay. Do you think that there is women rights to the women in Iran? The answer is no. You should use your, you should actually, you need to go with the, that's right, exactly. And there's no rights.
But think about this. What does it have to take for the people of Iran to rise up and take control of their government? They need money. They need weapons. They need a leader, somebody to coalesce around. Right now, that doesn't exist. Do you think that the Shah's son is the person? Is it somebody else?
I don't want to be in the middle. I will tell you why. If it will be their decision, that's what will happen. But we don't know. I'm not talking about myself. Israel don't want to be in the middle. It will be their decision. I can't decide for them.
But don't they need a leader to come forward and say, I will lead this revolution? And so far, that leader hasn't presented itself.
I think usually, let's take the example of Eastern Europe. Let's say it was 1989, 1990. They did it without a specific leader. Without a specific leader. Then, of course, they decided about, they took a decision. First of all, they are now these days, most of them are, democracies. They can do it. Yeah, but we will not be in the middle.
But what's happening is that Iran has been trying to cut down the tools of communication, phone lines, internet, and things like that. And you need that kind of conversation in order to have an armed uprising or any kind of an uprising. And if they're cutting out that communication, how does that happen?
First of all, now it's much better than it was 4 or 5 or 6 weeks ago. They are not doing it like they did 5 weeks or 6 weeks ago. I'm talking about the Iranians. You know what's the reason? They are much weaker. It's not the same Iran. By the way, it's not the same Iran.
Just because you killed the leadership?
No, the leadership and the head of their, security forces and what they called, their police, everything. Yes, of course. Yes. By the way, we are doing it together. It's not only Israel. It's not only Israel. We are doing it together. We don't want them to be there anymore. Enough is enough. 47 years. That's it.
And you're trying to take out the Navy as well?
The president said it. The American president said it.
Well, not only that, but the president also said that Bibi Netanyahu should be pardoned. Do you think that's a good idea?
That's he?
He wants the Bibi Netanyahu, the president of the prime minister of Israel, to be pardoned.
Yes. Of course, I will tell you something. We're doing only one thing these days. And this is to protect our people, and we are dealing only with the war, including the prime minister.
So let's talk about what's going on in the United States as well, please. And in New York, where the mayor of the city of New York has been against what Israel has done in Gaza, and he's against economic development, economic investment in Israel, BDS, and he's against having the pension funds in New York, a lot of money, billions of dollars, invest in Israeli companies. Yeah. Your position on that?
First of all, there's nothing personal against the mayor. It's about his ideas. You mentioned the boycott initiatives.
Yes.
I brought a book. I published this book when I served as the Israeli Minister of Science, Technology, and Innovation.
So what's in the book?
Okay. The headline of the book is Israeli Discoveries and Developments That Influenced the World. And we are talking about
what are we talking
science, medicine, Nobel Prize professors, our science and technology. Look at this technology. We want that people will be healthier. We want them to use the Israeli science, the Israeli innovation, robotics, for the humanity. We are doing a lot of things. You mentioned before the Iron Dome, by the way. This system is saving a lot of lives lately. And we have a lot of other achievements. And I'm talking about, as I said, medicine, science, whatever.
Did I see an astronaut in there? I think I saw an astronaut in there.
Of course. It's Ilan Ramon, the first Israeli astronaut who died in Colombia disaster, who killed in Colombia disaster. Ilan Ramon, of course. Unfortunately, all of them are gone.
So basically what you're saying
I want to say
this.
something about... Yeah, please.
No, go ahead.
I want to say something about boycotts. Whoever wants to boycott Israel, it's very bad for him, not for us.
Why?
Why? Because they're using, the world is using the Israeli high-tech and innovation every day. Every day, in everything. A lot of the Copaxone medicine, for old people. This is from Israel. That was one example. And the Israeli high-tech, cyber war. The industry of cyber war is from not all the industry is from Israel. Everybody wants it. So if someone don't want to invest in Israel, it will be very bad for him, not for us. I think that it's disgusting, by the way, initiative to boycott someone. If Marcia and Ofir can find themselves disagree on an issue, we don't need to boycott each other. We can talk about it. We can argue about it. What is the boycott? It's from Germany. Who started the boycott initiatives against the Jews? That was 90 years ago in Germany. We don't want it, and we are not living in this world anymore. So that's what I want to say about boycotts.
So how do you feel about the fact that the people's position on what happened in Gaza, not only after the October 7th attack, but also in Gaza, has become a part of the political life in New York as people are running for re-election or election to Congress? Where you stand on that, whether you're here or here, has become a big issue in terms of who you pick to go to Congress.
It's very popular.
How do you feel about that?
I think
how do you feel about the fact that candidates, even Jewish candidates, are attacking Israel for what it did in Gaza?
I will tell you. First of all, they need to know the truth. They need to know the truth. October 7th was the cruelest massacre, and not only against Jews in the last 90, after the Second World War come to an end, against the humanity. I saw the pictures. Nobody can blame Israel. Nobody, Jew, Christian, Muslim, you name it, can blame Israel that we started a fire on October 7th. Those monsters, I have to tell you, monsters, who killed a chuck to the death, the Bivas family, by their own hands, they did it. How someone, I don't care if he is a Jew, as I said, the Druze, Muslim, or Christian, can understand it. But see, what is it?
Don't you think
this is the upside down world that we are living in?
But see, I think that maybe what has happened is that people have forgotten the attack and they focus on Gaza as opposed to the initial incident that happened. And do you think that that's what's funneling all this anti-Israel sentiment?
I will tell you, I want them to know the truth. I want them to know the facts. What happened in Gaza in the last 2 years? Someone thinks that we won this war with the Gazans or with Hamas? By the way, what is Hamas? And it's not a war with the Gazans. It's a war against Hamas because they burned babies alive. Who can justify this? What is it? I can't understand. And they are using it for their campaign. For their campaign. I don't care what is, or someone religious is. You can't use it, what happened on October 7th against Israel. You can't. Why? Because we didn't start a fire. We don't want this situation. We want the Gazans to walk in Israel. By the way, we gave them the permission, but they used the permission to walk in Israel to kill the people who took them to, all the kibbutzim around Gaza, people who took them to Israeli hospitals. They killed them. They burned them alive.
So bringing this back to what's going on in terms of the war in Iran right now, do you think that if you succeed in so-called defanging the Iranians, that it will also have an effect on the other proxies that they've been funding?
Absolutely.
The Houthis, the Hezbollah, Hamas. Will it stop all of those people as well?
We are changing the world these days. The main goal is to change the current situation in the Middle East from a situation that the Iranians are, donate all this and support all these terror organizations that want to ruin us all, to, let's say, I can say heaven on earth, but a much better place. And I'm talking about these places as well, because they want to use their intercontinental missiles toward New York City. That's what they want. And I wanted to give you maybe to say something to all those politicians, mayors, and others who can understand, the Iranians, or attack the current administration in the United States because of what they are doing in Iran these days. When a fascist regime is saying that he wants to kill you, you better believe them. Don't be naive. Wake up. They want to destroy you. And before they will destroy us, we'll destroy them.
So last question. Is there a possibility that there could be lasting peace in the Middle East and then with Iran?
Yes, the answer is yes. I think that we can resume the diplomatic relations between Israel and the new Iran. I think that in that case, we can extend, no Hezbollah, of course, our relationship, the Abraham Accords, to a relationship with Lebanon. There's no territorial debate between Israel and Lebanon. The only problem is that the existence of Hezbollah. Could you have a
peaceful relationship with Iran ever?
I think that if the Ayatollahs will not be there, the whole region will be totally different, Marcia. It will be total. We can build, a railway between Israel and Iran.
Seriously?
Yes, we can do it.
Do you think at any point that you could be a situation where Iran would join the Abraham Accords?
Well, when the Ayatollahs will not be there and they will establish a democracy or another kind of regime, but not the Ayatollahs regime, the answer is yes.
Is that pie in the sky or reality?
I think that it is not a dream. We all must be, as leaders, we must be, with a vision. And our vision, it's a vision of peace. And when this war will come to an end, my offer is that President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu will get the Nobel Prize, the Peace Nobel Prize. Both of them deserve it.
On that note, thank you for joining me.
I hope that I'm not too optimistic, but I'm optimistic.
You're not optimistic. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much.
And thank you at home for joining us as well.